Today is Thursday, November 14th. What to know about President-elect Trump's most controversial pick for his cabinet so far. Even some Republicans aren't so sure about this one. And how the meeting went between Trump and Biden at the White House. Also, what new data shows about overdose deaths in America. Plus, Amazon has a new rival to Temu. Patrick Mahomes is responding to burglaries at his and Travis Kelce's mansions. And who was just named Sexiest Man Alive. Those stories and even more news to know next. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in around 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. President-elect Donald Trump has made some more unconventional cabinet picks, including a couple that might have a hard time getting confirmed, even in a Republican-led Senate. For example, he chose Congressman Matt Gaetz for the nation's top law enforcement job, U.S. Attorney General. And in response, several Senate Republicans said Gaetz will have an uphill battle ahead, especially since Democrats are expected to be united against him. Well, this cabinet position would put Gaetz in charge of the U.S. Justice Department that once investigated him for child sex trafficking, though Gaetz always said he was innocent and was never charged with a crime. Separately, Gaetz has been under scrutiny by the House Ethics Committee for several allegations, like sexual misconduct, illicit drug use, and more. Though again, the congressman always said the allegations were built on lies. And now that he's resigned from Congress to take this new role, the investigations are effectively over. So why was he chosen as Trump's pick for AG? Well, the president-elect has said he wants to see big changes in the Justice Department. As you know, the DOJ has brought 2 criminal cases against Trump, one over classified documents, the other accusing him of conspiring to overturn election results. And Trump has called both of those cases politically motivated. Gaetz agrees, and on a social media post yesterday, he said he wants to go after what he called a weaponized government, saying he would not hesitate to get rid of the FBI and ATF if necessary. Another big decision from Trump this week, he decided to tap former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard as his Director of National Intelligence. That would put her in charge of 18 spy agencies. She doesn't have direct experience in intelligence, but she does share Trump's America First philosophy. Gabbard has criticized the Biden administration's support of Ukraine in the war against Russia. And when she was in Congress, she criticized the Obama administration for intervening in the war in Syria, putting her at odds with many Democrats and Republicans. So that pick is also getting some mixed reactions. Not every one of Trump's staffing choices, though, is seen as controversial. As expected, the president-elect formally announced he was picking Senator Marco Rubio as the Secretary of State, and he's received some early signs of bipartisan support. It's not just the White House that's getting an overhaul. Congress is as well. So this week, Republicans, fresh off their election wins, picked who will lead their party starting next year. GOP senators chose John Thune of South Dakota as their first new leader in nearly 2 decades. Thune made the case for the leadership role by saying he would prioritize Trump's agenda. That includes the president-elect's plans to crack down on immigration and inflation, increase domestic energy production, pass tax legislation, and more. Over in the House, Republicans once again nominated Mike Johnson as Speaker. Like Thune, Johnson has also said he wants to quickly get to work on Trump's agenda, overhauling the federal government, scaling back environmental regulations, and ending what he called wokeness and radical gender ideology. But it might be a little tough. That's because the House is expected to be divided up pretty evenly between Democrats and Republicans, with Republicans having just a slight majority. Plus, Trump nominated 3 members to serve in his administration, so their seats will have to be filled in special elections, and it will take several months for those elections to play out. So, stay tuned. President-elect Trump met with President Biden at the White House yesterday. The two shook hands and promised a smooth transition of power. Biden offered Trump, quote, everything we can to make sure you're accommodated and have what you need. Trump said, quote, in many cases, it's not a nice world, but it is a nice world today. The two seemed to get along for at least the 1 minute or so they were in front of cameras together. From there, they had a 2-hour closed-door meeting. And despite how bitter things got on the campaign trail, both Trump and Biden told news outlets afterwards that they had a good, cordial, gracious meeting exchanging ideas. They reportedly talked quite a bit about the Middle East, with Biden asking Trump to work together in order to push for a ceasefire and hostage deal between Israel and Hamas. Biden also met yesterday with families of the American hostages still held in Gaza. They reportedly talked about the urgency of bringing hostages home. The families have also asked for meetings with some newly appointed members of Trump's team. So, to be continued. U.S. drug overdose deaths are going down. The U.S. is on track to see overdose deaths fall below 100,000 this year for the first time since 2020. New CDC data shows reported drug deaths fell nearly 14% during a 12-month period ending in June, compared to the same time period ending in 2023. That said, overdose deaths are still well above what they were pre-pandemic. Experts aren't certain about the reasons for the decline now, but some cite better access to treatment services once the isolation from the pandemic ended. The CDC director also credited additional resources like fentanyl test strips, as well as further efforts to connect victims of non-fatal overdoses to longer-term addiction care. But she warned if the federal government doesn't continue to devote resources to this drug epidemic, the downward trend may not last. We have much more news for you still coming up, but first, this episode is brought to you by Lumen. Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach. It's a device that measures your metabolism through your breath. As I've been using it, I've learned so much about how my metabolism and body works, and I love how easy and fun Lumen is to use. Again, all you have to do is breathe into your Lumen first thing in the morning, and you'll see what's going on with your metabolism. Then on the app, it lets you know if you're burning fat or carbs and gives you tailored guidance to improve your nutrition, workout, sleep, and even stress management. You can also breathe into it before and after workouts and meals, so you get real-time data and recommendations. Your metabolism is actually your body's engine. It's how your body turns the food you eat into fuel that keeps you going. This is the type of technology that used to only be available to top athletes in clinics, but now Lumen makes lab-level metabolic testing accessible. So if you want to take the next step in improving your health, go to lumen.me/newsworthy to get 15% off your Lumen. That's lumen.me/newsworthy for 15% off your purchase. Thank you, Lumen, for sponsoring this episode. Now back to the news. The newest inflation numbers are out, and they show inflation rose just a bit to 2.6% as economists expected. But analysts say the Federal Reserve is still likely to cut interest rates more at its meeting next month. After that, it's less clear. Separately, Bitcoin continues to soar. The world's biggest cryptocurrency surpassed $90,000 yesterday, hitting that next all-time high milestone and showing no signs of slowing, with expectations that President-elect Trump will be good for the crypto industry. A newer social media platform seems to be benefiting from the election. Blue Sky is a platform that looks and functions similarly to past versions of Twitter. And after Elon Musk took over Twitter and turned it into X, Blue Sky started adding users unhappy with the X platform. Then in just 1 week after the election, Blue Sky reportedly added 1 million new users. It now has more than 15 million users and is the #1 app in the App Store. That said, it has a ways to go before it catches X, or Twitter, which has more than 500 million worldwide users. Another one of Elon Musk's companies is making headlines over recalls. Tesla just issued the 6th recall of its Cybertruck since the electric steel pickup went on sale just a year ago. Tesla says a couple thousand Cybertrucks may have a problem that causes some to lose driver power. That essentially means when a driver steps on the accelerator, the Cybertruck may not speed up. Though Tesla said it's not aware of any crashes or injuries from this. The company said it will replace the faulty part for free starting December 9th. Amazon is now taking direct aim at low-cost competitors Temu and Shein. All items for sale on the new Amazon Haul cost $20 or less, but they take longer to arrive at your door. Like the mass-produced discount items on Temu and Shein, most of the products on Amazon Haul ship from China, hence the longer shipping time. Critics, though, of these ultra-discount online retailers say they're bad for the environment because of long shipping routes and the waste fast fashion creates. Still, their popularity has exploded in the U.S., attracting more downloads this year than Amazon. Right now, Amazon Haul is only available on the mobile app or mobile browser. The company hasn't said when the store will be available on desktop. Amazon Haul arrives as another Amazon service shuts down. The company announced it's getting rid of Freevee, its ad-supported streaming service. Freevee content will shift to the Amazon Prime brand and will happen gradually over the next few weeks. Star Kansas City Chiefs players Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce are now working with the FBI. That's because thieves broke into their homes just 2 days apart. Mahomes called the situation frustrating and disappointing, but said he couldn't give any other details since the investigation is still ongoing. The burglaries apparently happened right before and after the Chiefs played the New Orleans Saints last month. Kelce, the star tight end who's also famous as Taylor Swift's boyfriend, had $20,000 in cash stolen from his home. Also, the U.S. Sun is citing an unnamed source that says Kelce's jersey from his first ever Super Bowl was also stolen, and that both NFL players had thousands in jewelry, clothes, trophies, and more taken. A new sexiest man alive has been crowned. People magazine has given the title to John Krasinski, best known for his time as Jim on The Office. The magazine described the 45-year-old actor as a devoted family man who is one of Hollywood's top filmmakers. He's also a husband to fellow actor Emily Blunt, who co-starred with him in the horror hit A Quiet Place. Krasinski said his wife joked that she'll be keeping him humble now, and he might face some extra house chores because of this. He also said when he first got the title, he thought he was being punked. Well, that's it for the main news today, so now it's time for Thing to Know Thursday. But first, a quick break for our sponsor. I love so much about my life, but let's be honest, life's list of things to do is a bit much sometimes. So I welcome any tools to help make it all easier. And when it comes to finding the right doctor and making appointments, ZocDoc can help me cross those off my list so much faster. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click to instantly book an appointment. We're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, eye care to skincare, and much more. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, are located nearby, or are a good fit for any medical need, and who are highly rated by verified patients. Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. So whenever I need a new doctor, I check ZocDoc. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/newsworthy to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/newsworthy. ZocDoc.com/newsworthy. Now back to Thing to Know Thursday. College freshmen are starting to wind down their first semester, but there are fewer of them than in years past. A new report found freshman enrollment is down 5% this year compared to last, and experts aren't exactly sure why. The last major enrollment decline came in 2020, driven by the pandemic. Some analysts say this year's numbers may be the result of the Supreme Court's decision to get rid of affirmative action as part of admissions criteria. They also point to a new financial aid form rollout that went poorly, possibly causing families to miss out on needed grants and loans, though the Department of Education released data that said more students had received aid this year than in the past. Ultimately, higher education experts caution against assigning just one or two causes to the overall effect. The executive director of the group that released the report said there were a variety of factors that may have contributed to the freshman decline, like demographic shifts, the cost of college, and a changing labor market. Of course, these numbers are just from this year and may not represent a long-term trend, so we'll have to see. And overall, not just freshmen, the number of people enrolled in undergraduate studies is up because of students doing longer programs and high schoolers getting a jump start on college classes. All right, thank you so much for listening today and for making us part of your daily routines. We will catch you up with more news to know tomorrow. Until then, have a great day.